it can take years to build a deep relationship. And in some cases, it can take just seconds or minutes to destroy or seriously damage it with words that are ill-chosen or misunderstood or just inappropriate to the timing or to the ability of the person to relate. Swamiji told us, and this is a friend of ours from many, many years ago, also from back in the 1970s. Swamiji waited 10 years to tell him something important. And afterwards, when he did tell him, which was, obviously he was waiting for the right time, he said, boy, if he had told me that earlier, I would have been absolutely perplexed. The advice was, you think too much. And, in his mind, you can't think too much. There was no such thing as thinking too much. So, prior to that, he would have been absolutely boggled. But when Swamiji said it to him, it was like, oh, there's another side to perception. I don't have to just try to think it all through and with perspiring brow, understand the world, which is completely incomprehensible to our minds in many cases. But through the heart, we can understand very clearly. And Swamiji was just simply saying, develop your heart's awareness. And all of us would do well to take that advice, because to understand when to say something to someone, as Nirmal has been suggesting, reminding us of the words of Swamiji, means we have to be able to relate to their reality. We have to be able to see the world through their eyes. Are they ready to hear that? Are we ready to say it? And that point about needing to be able to remain calm is absolutely crucial, because otherwise we say something and what comes through is the emotion behind it. The words themselves sail over the top or are lost within minutes or days, but the memory of that feeling can last a long, long time. And so we have to be very aware, very sensitive. Now, this does not mean that we have to allow ourselves to become a doormat. Swamiji and Master both were very definite about that. We're not obligated to let people walk all over us. It's okay to create boundaries and to honor and expect others to honor those boundaries. And Swamiji would, in our own observation, and a lot of this experience came in India. As you all know, India is a vigorous place. There's a lot going on all levels, all the time. And to create space, to create quiet, is not always so easy to do. And people will just interrupt. People will just come and sort of oblige you to deal with them. And Swamiji learned to be polite, but firm. And there were times when he would invite some of us over for an event, a meal, a movie, a little informal satsang. And at the end, whenever that appropriate time was, he would say, okay, good night, everyone. And
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for
Good
coming.
night.
And he would invite us all to go home. I mean, in normal company, that would probably be considered a little impolite. But for us as devotees, we were respecting his space. We were respecting the fact that he was giving us his time and energy, which was an incredible gift. And we had no business imposing further on him. And it was nice of him to create that boundary. But we all need to sort of learn how to appropriately respond in those kinds of situations, because it is challenging.